here that want to help you. Okay, so this is one of the most important things that I'll start with. And there's 4 things we're going to cover tonight primarily. Okay, let's see if I can get these prompts off my screen. Perfect. So 4 things we're going to mainly cover tonight. Number 1 is just getting you plugged into our tools, our marketing app, the dashboard, all of the resources that you need to succeed. Number 2 is just setting proper expectations so that you know exactly what type of effort it's going to take to get a return on your time. A lot of people want to know, like, all right, how much actual work am I going to need to put in before I get paid? So it's really important that you have proper expectations on that. Number 3 is going to be exactly what to say and how to reach out to somebody to actually collect an electric bill from a homeowner that might be interested in going solar. So like that's the bread and butter of what we do, exactly what to say, how to reach out to someone. And we already have messages pre-programmed in our marketing app that are fabulous. They work incredibly well. They came from, in fact, our founder, Mike Fettick, the exact script he was using with his friends, family, neighbors, coworkers that helped him sell, 10 or more solar systems at this point. I got to check with him on his overall results. Easily and quickly since we launched. We took his scripts that were working so well and adapted them to text, and now our entire field is getting incredible results. In fact, our company is in extreme momentum right now, just so you all know. We're growing faster than we ever had. We had record-breaking recruiting in July, record-breaking electric bills, record-breaking appointments, record-breaking sales, and we are expecting to beat that again in August. So you're joining at a great time, and the systems that we have for you, they work fabulously well. The 4th thing is exactly what to say and how to reach out to someone to start building and growing a team. And if you're on here and you're like, look, I never even planned to build a team, that's not even on my list. I totally understand. And you don't have to if you don't want to. However, I will recommend to everyone on here that you're open-minded to building a team, because really all building a team is just sharing the opportunity of reach with someone else. You don't have to teach them, coach them, mentor them, or anything like that. In fact, what we'd like you to do is just share reach with them. And if they're interested in working with us, plug them into me and some of the other leaders here, and we'll help teach them what they need to do. And then your team can be growing twice as fast. So where a lot of people go, well, I'm going to wait till I've got it down to start building a team. What I recommend is bring people in now, and y'all can be learning together. By the time you're up to speed, they will be too, and you'll be making money twice as fast. Now, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's your business. It's just, that's my recommendation. All right. So first thing I'm going to jump into is getting you plugged into the software and the back office. So I'm going to share my screen here so you can see what I have going on. And I put in the chat. Okay, perfect. You guys can see that. Okay, so I put in the chat also a link. And if you click on that link, it will pull up this page right here. This is just simply, it's called a link tree. A lot of people use these on their social media. All it is just a few links that are really useful for you in reach. I highly recommend you save this link tree in your phone so you can get back to this pretty easily. The first one right here is the Reach Telegram group. Our Facebook group. Those are our 2 main social media channels for our community right now. And there's a good, better, best if you have a problem or a question in reach. If you have a problem or a question, the best option is to directly message someone like myself or John Bush or Mike Fettick or someone else at corporate so that we can address it for you, okay? But God forbid you can't get a hold of one of us or whoever you have contact with. A great place to go if you have a question is this Reach Telegram group. There's a lot of people with eyes on it, and someone in the community may be able to answer your question before someone from corporate can even get back to you. So this is a great way if you're looking for a solution to a problem, or if you're looking to connect with a rep in a certain area, you know what I mean? This is a great way to get plugged into our community. Highly recommend that you get plugged into the Telegram group and the Facebook group. The 3rd link here is our dashboard. And this is our in-house software. We have a development team that's been working on this nonstop for the last, I actually don't even know how long, even before the pre-launch, I think, like maybe 7 or 8 months. And they're constantly adding new improvements to it and additions. It's really fabulous. Now, there's some good and some bad with us developing it in-house. Developing it in-house means it's taken a little bit longer to get some features up and running. But the upside of that is it's exactly how we want it to be, and every problem that we find, we're able to resolve in the way that we want. So it's been getting better and better and better, and you're going to love the software that we have for you. The 4th one here is our marketing app. And this is what I was just mentioning, where it's got messages pre-programmed that will let you send. For instance, you could send a video of the recorded business overview explaining all about Reach to somebody. And if you use that app, you can actually see when someone clicks that link, watches the video, how much they watch, which usually indicates that they're interested. If they watch the whole video, then you know, okay, I can call them back right now and get them signed up. But you don't even have to do that, because when you use the Reach Out app and someone watches the video, there's a link at the bottom Oh, excuse me. If you joined after I put it in the chat, you may not see it. I'm going to relink it right now. I appreciate you saying that. And if anyone has any questions as I'm going, if you would throw them in the chat, that's super helpful. That way you don't forget them. And if I'm going to answer it, then I may come back to it in a little bit. But if it's, timely, then I'll answer it right now. So if you have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. Definitely don't feel like you can't interact on this call. I want to make sure, especially by the end, we get all your questions answered. But I will leave the last 10 to 15 minutes just for Q&A also. So I just threw it back in the chat again. All right, so the marketing app's really cool. Let's say you send someone that video for the business overview. It actually will have a link at the bottom that's connected directly to you. So if they go, oh, I want to sign up right now, they can just click that link, sign up for Reach, and they immediately are connected to you. You'll get an email letting you know a new person's enrolled on your team. You're good to go. So highly recommend that you use the tools for that. And then at the bottom here is a link to our book of the month. This is a program, obviously, you can, and I should have said this at the beginning, okay? This is one of the most important parts. You are in business for yourself here with Reach, but you are not in business by yourself. Now, what does that mean? It means you're 1099, you're running your own business, you get your own tax write-offs, you set your own schedule. Those are all the benefits of being on your own. Now, what sucks about being on your own? Well, you got to do everything on your own. Here, you have a community of people that will help you every single step of the way. Well, one thing we encourage everyone to do, so we're not going to require you to do anything, but one thing we encourage that you do is plug into this Book of the Month program. George has been holding it up. Appreciate that, George. Right now, our Book of the Month is 10 Legacy Lessons of Wealth. This book isn't about solar or sales or anything like that. It's about personal philosophy for success. And we here at Reach believe that you should invest more in yourself than you do in your business. The more you grow yourself, the more your business will grow. That's been true for myself and many of the other people that are successful here. And so we want to pass along some of those nuggets that we've learned. So highly recommend you plug into that as well. We're going to be releasing our book for September tomorrow on our biggest call of the week. So that's the next thing I want to show you as far as getting plugged in. This is the dashboard. Okay, this is the third link down on that link tree, dashboard.reachsolar.com. And on here, you'll see a link to the calendar. Now, finally, okay, it takes a little bit of time for us to update our calendar right now. Soon, a few of us will be able to actually update it. Right now, a literal software engineer has to work on this, okay, to update our calendar. So it took a little bit of time, but we do have our Fast Start training on Saturday morning, and the one we're on right now on Wednesday night listed on the calendar now as well. And there's a ton of calls that you can plug into and use for your success. Once again, you don't have to plug into everything. I recommend finding the ones that fit into your schedule the best and putting those on your calendar. Now, if you're on here and you're like, look, I never want to do sales. I just want to refer people to Reach and get paid. That's a lot of people, okay? That's a lot of people that we're working with that want to do that. No problem. You probably don't need to get on the sales rep training then or worry about that. I would highly recommend that you plug into the daily dose every day that you can. But the most important call every single week is this Reach Up call on Thursdays. This is like our big company gathering. The daily dose, we have like 50 to 75 people that get on every single day. And it's a different group every day because some people can fit in certain days. But on Thursday, we usually have like 150 or 200 people that pile in for our big company call. That's when we do our biggest announcements, recognition, and have guest speakers on. Tomorrow on that call, we'll be releasing our book of the month for September. And we actually have the author of that book coming on as a guest speaker in a couple weeks. So that's going to be a pretty cool announcement. So highly recommend you put that on your calendar. And here's what's cool about this. I didn't show this on recent calls, but if you click on any of these calls, it actually pops up the Zoom meeting link to join the call. So if you're ever like, oh, what Zoom is this on? You can go straight to the calendar, click on it, the Zoom will pop up. But there's also buttons here to add it to your actual calendar so that it adds a reminder, automatically puts it straight on your calendar. Highly recommend that you do that with the ones that you can make it to. So that's our training calendar right there. Now, a few more things that I want to direct you to in the dashboard. And I can't click through every single button because it would take a while, but I highly recommend that when you have a few extra minutes that you just click through everything on here and see what's available to you. But this one's this one's a little bit hard to find. So pay attention to this. To find a resources tab, you need to click on your profile picture, which will pop this up, and you see down here, resources. Okay, it may even, depending on your view, our videos might even be covering it, but it's on this drop down, resources. And when you click on this, there will be much less things here, you know what I mean, if you're brand new to Reach. As you actually get qualified as a sales rep here, more information becomes available to you here, so you can see information about our installers. But one thing you will be able to see is open states, okay? Open states. This is a list of all the states that we currently install solar in. So you can recruit people and build a team basically anywhere internationally, except for like the few countries that are labeled as like terrorist countries. basically everywhere else you can recruit. But we only install solar right now in these 37 states in one district. And this does change regularly because we're constantly adding new installers and EPCs so that we can cover more areas. And for those of you guys that are familiar with the industry, over the last month or so, some of the biggest installers in the industry actually went out of business. And so we had to pivot in a couple of our states. But luckily with Reach, we don't just lean on 1 or 2 or 3 installers, but we actually have many, 5-star installers that we work with. And one of the reasons we've been slow to recover some of those states is because we want to make sure we're working with someone that will provide top quality service to our customers. So we don't, like to skimp on that. To Mark, to answer your question, I don't want to answer it wrong. Most of these states we pretty much have complete coverage on. There's a couple that we don't, but I would have to direct you to John Bush or someone else more on the sales operation side to get the exact answer on that. I believe I have a resource I can send you with that, but mostly you're good anywhere in these 37 states. There's a couple that the coverage is a little bit more sparse, but mostly we cover the states completely. Great question, though. Sorry for not having a complete answer for you. And one thing that you guys should know about me, if I don't know the answer to something, I'm not going to try and make it up for you. So I'm just going to tell you I'm going to have to find the answer. I believe that's the best thing to do. You know what I mean? I get really frustrated when I ask them a question, they just make up an answer for me. So I won't make up an answer if I don't know. That being said, the next thing I want to do is play for you guys this quick getting started video, and I need to reshare here with audio.
Hi everyone, welcome to Reach Solar. I am Veronica Call.
I'm Casey Call.
And I'm Mike Fettig.
And over the next few minutes, we would love to welcome you to Reach and talk about a few important things that will lead you off to a great start.
When you log into the Reach back office, the first thing you will want to do is to submit an electric bill, which you can do by clicking here and here. If you are a homeowner and would like to get solar, enter your information and electric bill. If you don't own a home, then submit an electric bill from a homeowner that you know that is interested in getting solar. After adding the customer information, the next step is to add a sales rep. Click the button and select your upline team sales rep, or select View Company Sales Reps to select a different sales rep. At this point, it's important to add a note with any information about the customer and the project. Click the next button to upload the electric bills. Once you have uploaded the files, click Save to submit the lead to your team sales rep for approval. Next, and this is the most important part, create a group text message to introduce the sales rep and the homeowner. You are simply connecting the homeowner to the sales rep so that they can communicate directly with each other. Jumping back to the dashboard, download and install the Reach Out app by clicking the Download Now button on the Reach Out banner. Use the group code REACHOUT when prompted. To register someone on your team, click the Register Team Member button and share the link to your registration page. Click the Copy button to share the link. On the Training tab, you can view the daily and weekly Reach training events listed in your time zone. Click to view the information and register for the Business Overview, which is the company presentation for you to bring guests, presented in English and Spanish. On the Marketing tab, you will find dozens of marketing resources including landing pages, scripts, and your personalized Reach website. Click the Share Link button to copy the link or click View to jump to the website.
We are honored to have you here at Reach and grateful you chose us. We are committed to your success and will always lead with doing the right thing, even when it hurts. Whatever your dreams are, just know that you can achieve them here at Reach, and we've got your back. Thank you for trusting in us. I promise we won't let you down. On behalf of my partners, Casey and Veronica, we wish you the best success here at Reach.
Now, if you, I can't escape this. There we go. If you end up needing to watch that again when you go to upload your first electric bill, don't feel bad. I literally did it. I watched it, went step by step as I was uploading it, but it's really not that hard. As soon as you've got someone who is willing to let us take a look at their home, they send you their e-bill. You click submit e-bill right here, just like it showed you, put in their information, choose a sales rep to connect them to, upload the e-bill, and you're off to the races. Now, there is like a good, better, best way to do this. If you want to maximize your results, I highly recommend that you participate as much as you can on connecting the sales rep and the homeowner together so that they have a good experience, right? Like that's why it says the most important part is to put them in a group message right afterwards. So that way they have their number. So it might look like something like this, like, hey, George, this is Cameron. Cameron's going to be the one that's actually taking a look at your house for solar. Just want to connect y'all in case he has any questions about the property. That way you know it's him that's calling or texting you. Now they're connected. Now Cameron's got George's number, and if like the sales reps guys are extremely professional. They put customer service first. Let me just explain to you guys our business model really quick. We believe that we're working primarily off referrals. So by doing that, it means like I'm bringing my mom, my brother, you know what I mean, my sister, my friends, right, to a Reach rep. They have to, take extra care with these people. Otherwise, no one is going to bring someone to them again. Right. So they are going to take great care of your friends and family members. They're going to focus on putting them in a good position first, and they will take it from there for you guys. They'll message them, set up the call, do discovery, do a presentation, go all the way through the paperwork with them. You don't have to be involved with that. But if you want to learn about solar and you want to learn about the sales process and you want to eventually be doing presentations yourself, or if you just want to make sure that you're as educated as possible, I recommend that you get on that call and watch the presentation, take notes, you know what I mean? See how the sales rep handles it that way. Because the more you know, number one, the more excited you will be. And I will say this for everyone on here. If you were brand new to Reach, I'm so glad to have you here. You're going to love the opportunity. It's been incredible for me, but I really didn't know how good solar was for people until I saw my first Reach presentation. I got excited about the company. I believed in the concept. I was excited to go share it with people. But when I saw my first presentation, it really changed it. It really changed things for me, to be honest, because I was just blown away. And this is how my first one was set up. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Let me stop sharing for just a second. Okay. I told my mom, I said, Mom, listen, I need a test customer. Okay. Because Casey Call, one of the co-founders here at Reach, he told me, he said, Nick, listen, I need you to go. He said, I know you're working with corporate. I know you're not, going out and selling for us right now, but I just need you to do one thing for me. And I need you to go and book one appointment with one homeowner and just see the presentation, because I know once you see it, it's going to change everything for you. And I said, okay, I'll do it. You know what I mean? Fine. He runs the company. I respect him. I trust him. He's a mentor of mine. Of course, I'm going to listen to him. So, and he said, you should use your own house. That's the best option. I said, well, I don't own my own home. I rent. And he said, okay, then you got to find someone that's close to you that'd be willing to watch a presentation. He said, even if they're not interested, who cares? You just need to see it. I said, okay. So I messaged my mom and I said, Mom, would you be willing to be a test customer for me? And she's like, I've been a test customer for you my whole life. And I was like, perfect, And I said, I really want you to be difficult though. And Mom, I know you can be difficult, right? I'm messing with my mom. I know you can be difficult, but seriously, whether or not you're interested in solar, if you're not interested, no problem. But would you be willing to just go through the process with me, ask all the hard questions as if you were a buyer, and then walk away if you're not interested? And she said, yeah, of course I'll do that. What do I have to lose? And I'm like, perfect, thank you. And I asked her, even after she agreed, I was like, have you ever been pitched on solar before? And she goes, oh, I have people knock on my door every week. And I was like, wow, okay. Have you ever heard any of them out? She's like, well, no, I don't, none of them, I don't know them. I don't trust them. I don't know what the deal, so I haven't really given it, that much attention. She goes, she said, I know people who have solar and they love it, but never really taken a look. I was like, okay, maybe she'll be interested, right? She lives in Florida. Her house is in a great spot for solar. And so we booked the presentation, and I'm doing it with Jimmy Scuderi, fantastic rep here. If you know someone in Florida, he crushes in Florida. Okay, so definitely recommend you book with him. And man, every question she asked, his answer blew me away. Every single thing, he didn't ever look stressed. He's like, oh yeah, great question. This is the answer. Great question. This is the answer. Great question. This is the answer. And my mom is sitting there nodding her head. She's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. And sure enough, by the end of it, she's like, this is amazing. She's fired up. She's ready to go solar. I'll show y'all really quickly. I've still got her in here. Yes. Okay, one second. Let me pull up this. because this is just one part of the custom proposal that we show people, guys. It's just one part. And let me preface with this also. We are only going to go and show somebody solar if we can actually help them. The reason we collect their electric bill first is to see, we're going to look up their house on satellite and see, okay, can they actually produce solar? Do they have tree cover? Are they in an area where they're going to get enough sunlight? And then the second thing is comparing their electric bill to see how much electricity they actually use, so we can see, can we put them in a system where they could save money, and ideally month one, right? But some people, don't save money their very first year or second year in solar, but lifetime they save $40,000, $50,000. So it's like a no-brainer either way. So it just depends on the situation, how good it's going to be. So I just don't want you to think everyone is going to be as good as my mom's. This one just happened to be just a phenomenal spot for it. Okay, let me share my screen one more time. All right, so this is her house. This is where they set, Jimmy set up the panels to be on the two, sides of her house to get the most sun. And this part right here, okay, this blew me away. So this system is meant to produce 115% offset, okay? So if you're new to solar, no stress. All that means is about 100% would be how much electricity she uses right now. So this was about 15% more than she needed. And the reason for that, she actually requested that because she plans on heating her pool more often than she does right now because she's fancy, and apparently that uses a lot of electricity, so they baked that in. Okay, but even 15% more than she needed, look at her current electricity bill, average 177, okay, and her new solar bill will be 133. Now, she'll still owe a $25 a month fee to hook up to Florida Power Lights where she is in Florida. You can't get away from that. So, but she's going to be saving money month one. Okay, look at this 25-year savings number, $42,000. Okay, completely covered under warranty, completely insured. She doesn't have to stress. She doesn't have to think about it. And all of that, and it's not going to cost her any money out of pocket. Like, they're literally going to turn on the panels in her very first month. Okay, she's going to be paying this bill instead of her old electric bill. Like, that's crazy. And then on top of that, Jimmy goes, oh, by the way, this extra 15%, if you don't end up using that, Florida, like where you live, they actually will take back 100% of the electricity that you produce and pay you for it. So at the end of the year, she's going to get a check for any extra electricity she sends back to the grid. So I see this, and I already believed in solar. I already thought it was phenomenal. But when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is real value that we're providing our customers. So I just want to encourage you to go out and get that first presentation, see it live, watch what it's like. And if you're like, I'm still a super skeptic, and you have to do what I did and get someone to be your test customer, or what I would recommend is just do it yourself. If you own your own home, just submit your own electric bill, you know what I mean? And then you can see the presentation on your own house. I will say this as well. Some of our top reps, they are the ones that went solar because they have the most conviction. And obviously when you share it with someone, you go, yeah, I went solar myself. Okay, that definitely helps your case, right? People are like, oh, I'll take a look. You did it yourself, right? Which is exactly why I needed to see it myself. And so everyone on here, you need to see it yourself also. Make sure that you at least get one appointment booked so that you can see, what this is actually like. Okay. Now I apologize for going off on that as a little bit of an extra tirade there. Okay. So let's get back on track. Three things left. That's getting you plugged into the dashboard. I'm going to show you the marketing app in just a second when I'm talking about what to say to people. But just briefly, I want to talk about number expectations. Okay. Expectations for how many people you're going to have to reach out to. So across our entire company, these are the averages, okay? So that you just know what the averages are now. You might have better or worse results to start, and most people get better over time, but also you do tend to do pretty well with your closest group of friends and family. Like most of them are willing to see a presentation. So sometimes you shoot a little bit higher at the beginning as well. So get excited about that. But here's the numbers. For every 2 electric bills that you collect. So I reach out to Mark. Mark's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm interested in solar or not, but sure, I'll send you my bill and see if I can get a good deal. Whatever, you know what I mean? So he sends me his electric bill. Cameron, same thing. Now I've got 2 electric bills. Well, on average, you're gonna have to collect 2 electric bills in order to book 1 appointment, okay? Fair enough. And for every 4 appointments you booked, you're gonna get 1 installed sale. That's pretty much the average. So the way I look at it is for every 8 electric bills I collect, I'm gonna get 1 person to go solar. Not a bad ratio. Okay, now I'll tell you, some companies have a better closing ratio than that. But personally, I think that's because they're more of hardcore closers. They push people to buy sooner. You know what I mean? They're not as customer service focused. And so I prefer us to have a slightly less closing ratio, but I have all of our customers have an exceptional buying process, right? No one feels bad. That's always better, especially because one of the reasons we're growing is because people have good results, so then they recommend their friends, okay? So now, how about getting paid? Now, if you saw the business overview, okay, the first deal that you set up, you make 10% of the revenue to reach. Now, on average for us right now, that's about $10,000 to reach. So you would make about $1,000 for your first deal that you set up. Okay, not bad. That's not even, you're not doing the sales. You're just referring the person. The second one, you make 15%, and the third one and there on after, you make 20% of the revenue, or around $2,000 for an average one. So the way I look at it, you don't have to look at it this way, but the way I look at it is for every electric bill I collect, I make about $250. It's much easier for me to get excited about the activity that I'm doing and not worry about the results, which is what I recommend for y'all as well. This is absolutely a numbers game. We're not going to try and convince people, right? We're not going to try and convince people that are not in a good position to go solar or that don't want solar. If they say, hey, now for me, we're going to say, hey, no problem. Who do you know, right? But what we can do is go through enough people to find the ones that we're looking for. Okay, I see a question in the chat. So this is a common misconception. There are two parts of our company, okay? There are the setters and the builders. That's all of us that are on the call right now. And then we have our professional solar sales reps. Now, if you're on here and you're like, I want to become a sales rep, you absolutely can, no problem, okay? But we generate the leads, right? We're the referral base. Like, we're the ones that are finding people that are interested in solar and referring them to those sales reps. So you have to earn the sales rep position before you can have people bringing leads to you. Now, I will say this, if you're a salesperson on here, and I know that you're not the most common on here, so if you're like one of the few people on here that is a salesperson, it is an exceptional opportunity to be a company sales rep with us, because people will literally bring you their friends, family, neighbors, coworkers that are interested in solar all day long for you to just do the presentations and build out deals for people. And some people love doing that. So if you want to do that, I highly recommend that you work your way towards that position. But all of us that are on here, we're the ones generating those leads and referring those people to the sales rep. So two parts of the company that we have going there. And you can fit in wherever you want to fit in. We have some people, we've got a guy, Curtis Ballesteros, he absolutely he generates all his own leads, and he closes his own deals, and he works on his own, and he crushes. He's one of the top performers here. He's like, I want to do both roles. I want to get paid both. You can make the 20% for the lead and 30% for closing it, and dip into our bonus pools as well if you want to. So if you want to play both roles, you can. Okay, is that another question? Okay, and I appreciate you guys that are on here that are welcoming everyone. Seriously, if you're new to Reach, we want to welcome you here. We're glad to have you as part of the community. And if you have questions, I'm not the only one that you can reach out to. Anyone that you see, on these calls that are active in the company, you can absolutely talk to them to work with them. Okay, the question about installers, we have about 14 right now that cover those different states that I showed you. So you can go to that open states page to see which areas that we cover. It doesn't necessarily show exactly which installers in which area, so I don't want to just try and rattle them all off for you, but it's different for each state. Basically, most of them are regional and cover one or two states. Tends to be the bigger installers that have a larger span, do not have the greatest customer service. So we found that mostly it's better to work with people that know their area, know those laws, and do a great job in those areas. Great questions though. Okay, so those are some of the expectations as far as numbers. Now let me show you exactly how to reach out to people, what to say to get best results. I'm going to share my screen one more time. And these are screenshots directly out of the Reach Out app. Okay, so if you download your app, and it is free, by the way, there's a pro version. You don't need the pro version to do anything I'm about to show you. You can get it if you want. It lets you track some of your numbers. It is useful, but I would recommend waiting to upgrade until you get into the groove of using it and you want that data. Otherwise, you can start with all the basic functionality and get everything you need to get done right away. So no need to spend any money on this until you're actually getting results and making money. It's free to join here at Reach. We really care about helping people make money, not making money off of people. Okay, that's our main. And by the way, that money doesn't go to us anyway. That's a third-party company that built the app for us, just so you know. But anyway, let me show you how to use this. So this is the home screen, and at the bottom here, there's a button called Resources. So you're going to click on that, and it'll bring up these 4 tabs right here. Now, This third one, I highly recommend that you just don't even mess with this unless you're already like a social media influencer. The best way to build this business is not by posting advertisements on social media. The best way is to reach out to individuals directly. And, if they respond, if they're not interested, no problem. But a direct communication is what differentiates us from a lot of other companies that are, feel more cold. They're cold calling, door knocking, whatever it may be. This is a warm reach out from someone that you know. So first thing is sharing solar. Let's talk about that first. If you open this, it's going to give you a breakdown of 4 options here. The first one says invite. And soon all of these are going to be removed, just so you all know. And we're going to be only going to Mike's approach. The reason for this is because it's not like some of these scripts don't work. Okay, you can definitely ask your friends and family to do you a favor, just like I did with my mom. But what gets the best results is when someone's actually somewhat interested in going solar, right? Obviously. And this approach, Mike's approach, is really what leads the best to that. And that's what we're getting the best results across the board. And we will always update these scripts whenever we find something that's new, that's working better, by the numbers, okay? Not just based on feel, right? So if something's working better, we'll add that in here and make sure you guys have the cutting edge stuff. But highly recommend you use Mike's approach to start. This is what that's going to look like. It's going to just populate a text for you. Pretty simple, guys. And you'll notice the simplest scripts work the best. Hey, have you ever looked into how much you could save on your electricity and taxes with solar? All this is meant to do is just generate interest, right? To create interest, or to basically put the idea in their head. Now, people will respond all sorts of different things. No, I haven't. Is it, should I? Some people will say, yeah, I have. I'm not sure. Whatever they respond, okay, some level of interest, right? We're going to the create interest tab. And you're going to go straight to ask for the bill, okay? Ask for the bill. And basically, this message right here, send me your latest electricity bill. I'll upload it into our system to run a virtual scan on your house and see how much you could save. No promises. Every house is different. Literally, and if you guys have phone skills, I know most people in the modern day, you like texting, but if you enjoy phone calls, if you're a conversationalist, if you like talking to people, use the same script over the phone, you'll get even better results. It's phenomenal, okay? Because people are excited. They want to know, is my house a good candidate? It's not us going, hey, let me give you a pitch. It's us going, hey, let me collect some information for you so we can see if we can help you. And if not, then we're not going to bother you. And because it's not really a question, most people just respond with the electric bill. Now, some people will ask a few questions. I'll tell you guys those right here. Some people will ask, well, why do you need my electric bill if you're going to scan my house? Which is a fair question. It's because we need to see how the sun sees their house, and we need to also know how much electricity are they using, right? If they've got a Bitcoin farm in their garage, they're going to need a lot more panels on the roof, okay? So it just depends on how much electricity they're using. And then the second question, this is the one that makes me crack up. I get this so often, my friends. I laugh because I was this guy. They ask you, where do I find my electric bill? Okay, that is literally the most common question I get. How do I get it to you? And you'll have to just tell them, hey, go log into your portal with whoever your utility company, like for my mom was Florida Power Lights, and on the front page, basically for everyone, or you'll be able to find a spot in there to download your latest bill, and then just have them send you the PDF. So the most common question you're going to get is, how do I find it? Now, some people will say, no, I'm not interested, or whatever it may be. You can say, hey, no problem. Thank you so much. If you know what you want, or if you change your mind, all I need your electric bill to see if you can be a good candidate. You don't have to pressure anyone. You can just work through the numbers. Okay, guys, like seriously, and hear me out on this. You don't want to turn this into a presentation. I see this commonly all the time. The less you say to people, the better, because we don't know, like you don't want to, the last thing you want to do is be like, Mark, listen, man, like my mom, she's saving like 30% on her electric bill month one. She's going to save like $40,000 lifetime, and getting them all jazzed up about it. And then the next thing you know, you collect their electric bill and they have giant trees all around their house, and the sun doesn't touch the roof one bit, and they're not willing to cut down the trees. And it's like, well, we can't actually help them. So there's no point in getting someone jazzed up or excited about it before we find out if they're a good candidate. That's the whole point. Like, if they're like, well, I'm not interested, just be like, how do you know, right? We don't know yet if you even qualify. Shoot me over electric bill. I'll see if we can save you money. If we can't, I'm not going to bother you, right? And once again, guys, this approach works phenomenally well. It's been working. We have record-breaking months back to back on electric bills collected using this. So highly recommend that you use this approach. Now, last thing here, sharing the opportunity. And I know I'm covering a lot of stuff and I'm all over the place. So if you have questions, like I said, I'm going to open up to Q&A here in a second. Actually, I've closed the chat. Let me make sure I've got that. Perfect, didn't miss anything. Okay, so sharing the opportunity. This is even easier than sharing solar. In fact, it is so easy to recruit people to Reach because A, it's free to join, and B, almost everyone is looking to make extra money. Not everyone's a homeowner. Like I wasn't a homeowner, so I couldn't see a solar presentation. And not all my friends are homeowners, although many of them are. But all of my friends, all of my family, everyone I've ever met, everyone's looking to make extra money, okay? So when you share the opportunity, I recommend that you use the direct approach or the indirect approach. Anything works, okay? But the direct approach is pretty simple. Like this is like worked in many industries for many years, guys. Hey, are you open to making extra income on the side? Most people's response is yes. Now that doesn't mean they're going to be interested in Reach, right? They're going to look at Reach and say, well, yeah, I want to do it, or no, I won't. But are they open to making extra money? Most people are. The indirect approach is something I would use with people that maybe you're not as comfortable approaching directly. That's why it's called the indirect approach. And it says, hey, Mark, do you know anyone that's open to making extra income on the side? And so all it does is it takes them out of the bullseye and it leaves it open for them to offer up and go, well, I am. And some people do, or they might go, oh yeah, I know someone who is. But that way it's a little bit more indirect. So depending on who you're reaching out to, use the direct approach or the indirect approach, and then go straight into the sizzle video. Okay, so if they're like, yes, I am, what you got? Like you found an opportunity, whatever it may be. Pretty simple here. This message says, I found a company paying thousands just for referrals. It's free to sign up. Check it out. And this doesn't send like the 25-minute video. This sends a 1-minute video that basically just promotes the growth in solar that's going on, what Reach is about, and how you can participate if you want. And so if someone sees that, it's a sizzle video because it's just meant to generate interest or not. They might go, doesn't really look like it's something for me. No problem, okay? We don't stress no's here. Of course, some people are gonna be no's. If everybody sold solar, nobody would cook food, build houses, do accounting, practice law, even put out fires. Like people have to do all of the jobs out there. So don't worry if not everyone says yes, okay? But if they are interested, what's really cool about this, they watch that video. Below it is a button that says learn more. So they don't even have to come back to you. They can click learn more and it will go straight into the full 20-minute business overview that explains everything A to Z. And then below that will be a button that says join now, and they can literally click and join and be connected to you. So this one text gets them access to all the information that they need. It lets them go at the pace they want, so you don't have to feel like you're pressuring them or whatever it may be. But it also will keep you informed, because whenever they watch that sizzle video all the way through, you're gonna get a notification. It's gonna be like, hey, Nick, George just watched the video. And then it's gonna say George just clicked on the business overview. And then it's gonna say George watched the whole business overview. And so when I get those emails, I do reach out to them right then. I'll call up George and be like, hey, George, I saw you watch the whole video. You excited to get started with Reach? Yes, maybe they have questions. And if they do, then you connect them with somebody that can answer their questions, guys. So it's not that hard to bring someone on board with Reach. Now, if you want to send someone the full business overview directly, it is down here in tab number 3. You can just send them directly to that video. If they're like, hey, just go ahead and send me the presentation, you can send that over to them directly if you want to. Okay, one more thing I want to show you in the Reach Out app before I open up to Q&A. This is how to invite a new rep to this call, this Fast Start training, okay? Which is really important. If you bring somebody on board, they're not gonna know where to get started or where to get plugged in. And obviously this call doesn't teach you everything, but at least now y'all know where can I go if I need a question answered, where can I go to get in the back office, find the trainings, the calls, etc., the tools that you need, so you can at least find the resources you need. So we wanna make sure everybody gets connected back to this call. So if you go to their contact in the Reach Out app, click on them, it'll pull them up, and click Event Invite, okay? Event Invite. It will pull up a calendar inside of Reach Out, and then you can literally click on the next Fast Start training and invite them to it with this button right here. It'll put it in a text. And when you do that, okay, it sends them this RSVP link. Some of y'all may have gotten a link just like this for this call. Some of y'all may have just had someone invite you personally over the phone or via text, whatever it may be, if they weren't using the app. But if they used the app and you clicked RSVP, then they got a notification saying Mark is going to be, Mark just RSVP'd for the Fast Start training. So this is how you can keep track of who is getting on which ones. And once again, just like with sales, if you want to be involved all the way through with your new rep and you want to get on this call with them and be on it again 2 or 3 times, it definitely won't hurt you to go through the information again. I also usually include 1 or 2 or 3 extra things, per call. So you might pick up a couple extras. But you can be here with them when they get started if you want. So you can show up and be here with them. You don't have to do that. You can just plug people in. One of the coolest parts about this business, you don't even have to ever refer someone to solar yourself. You could just build a massive team of people, and every time any one of them refers someone to solar, they get paid, and so do you. Okay, this has already happened for me in a big way. I'll just share this with y'all. I've only brought in about 13 people or 14 people into Reach so far. The number keeps getting bigger, obviously, because I'm still sharing with people. But that's really not that many. I've built teams of thousands of people in the past, so I'm only just getting started. Okay, but those 14 or 15 that I've brought in, they've brought in a few, who've brought in a few, who've brought in a few. Now my team's over like 600 people. I don't even know most of them. And that all contributes to my income here. So don't wait on the team building opportunity. It doesn't cost anything to get started. A lot of people are looking to make extra money. They'll thank you for the opportunity, and they can be learning while you are, right? So you don't have to wait till you're an expert to build a team. You can bring them in, plug them into us, and we'll help them while we're helping you as well. So that's how you can invite someone to the Fast Start training. Last thing, inside the Reach Out app, there is a coaching tab in here, and this is for how to use the app effectively. So it has a bunch of training videos on how to use the app, add a contact, assign a contact to a campaign, send out a resource, all of these things. So if you want to really become a pro at using the software, there is training built in that you can go through. But to be honest, I would just focus on the basics first. I would make a short list of your top 5 to 10 people that are homeowners. Like I always say, your flat tire 5. Like, who would you call if you had a flat tire in the middle of the night, you actually needed help? Like the people who would show up for you. Start with them first, because that's going to be your easiest ones to get your practice in, right? And if they go, listen, it's not for me, you won't feel that bad, right? Because it's your brother, uncle, whatever. Like, no stress. You know what I mean? Like, those are who you should start with for homeowners, and get that first presentation booked ASAP, because that is going to change things for you. And then the last thing I want to mention before opening up to Q&A is the Fast Start bonus program. Okay, so we do have a bonus that's available for every brand new person. It's a $500 bonus that's on the table for you. Here's how it works, okay? In your first 15 days at Reach, you book 4 appointments with electric bills with the sales rep. And whether it's sales or sell, whatever happens, that's not on you, okay? If you get those 4 appointments booked with electric bills, that's gonna lock in a $500 bonus. Now, this is important. It doesn't pay out instantly. It's gonna pay out with your first real commission. So when you actually have your first sale go through, and you get paid out on that, you'll get an extra $500 on that. Now, it doesn't have to be one of those first 4, although the reason we make it 4 is because that's our average, guys. Because most people, if you go out and book 4 appointments with bills, one of those is going to go all the way through, and then you're going to get paid. So, but we know this for a fact. The people who wait to get started usually don't get started. And the people who get started fast, they actually have better long-term results. The reason for this is really simple. You may conceptually know how this works now, but you won't really know until you go do it, right? You go through the process, you get a little bit of feedback, you get better, you do it again. A few times, you'll be off to the races, you'll be killing it. So that's why we incentivize people with this bonus. So make sure you understand, 4 appointments with electric bills in your first 15 days, you lock that bonus in. Even if your first sale doesn't happen for 3 or 4 months from now after that, you still have that bonus coming to you when it happens. Okay, but most likely one of those 4 will go all the way to install just based on the averages. Okay, I know that was a lot. I know you guys probably have some questions. I've been answering questions in the chat. Feel free, if you have a question you want to unmute and just ask it verbally. You're welcome to, if you want to use the raise your hand feature, or if you want to put it in the chat, whatever you're comfortable with. But I'll be happy to answer questions for the next 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll close it out. And if you have to go right now, feel free to hop off. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us. Welcome to Reach. We're excited for you and the opportunity. And please do plug in to our call tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be one of our biggest calls of the week. You absolutely will love being on with the whole community. It's a lot of fun and informative as well. So please plug into that. But what kind of questions you all have, and how can I help you all?
Hey, Nick, on the you have the list of the states, and you said you cover a state. Is there a list of how many reps you have in a particular area? So for me personally, I'd want to definitely be building a team as fast as possible.
Yes.
So, and in my background, I can probably do that rather quickly. So it's
okay.
am I going to focus on Southern California, or is that already overpopulated? Do I go to Wilmington, Delaware? Because I know a ton of people there,
Sure.
so where is that type of information to where I'm like, I'd hate to go put a ton of reps right on top of another, ton of reps.
Well, so great news is that really nowhere is ultra saturated in solar. We're in like the best time ever in solar's history because it's growing incredibly fast. We've got this huge federal tax credit, but it's also still early in that cycle. And most people don't have solar. So there's a lot of areas that are great. Now, there are some areas where you can build faster and get faster installs and a faster return on your money. So if you have the flexibility to recruit anywhere, some places like Florida, Texas, Arizona are way hotter. Okay. But let's do this, because if you have experience building teams, let's book a private call and we can talk about some of those areas, and I can connect you directly with John Bush. He's the one that manages all the different installers for our company, so he can give you a more precise location on some of those. But I'll be happy to work with you on bringing those guys in, and I would say recruit everywhere, right? Because you don't know who's gonna who's gonna just go off to the races. Like, some people will tell you California is way more difficult for solar, and some people will tell you they're thriving in California because they know the market. So it will also come down to which sales reps you work with. Do you plan on wanting to sell yourself, or do you just want to build a big team and refer people?
I may sell some myself, but it'll be more about building the big team.
Then what I would recommend that you do is figure out which sales reps you really vibe with, because we have some, like, there's a lot that are exceptional, but they all have different personalities. So you might go, okay, I really like working with these three, and whatever states they are the best in, that would be your best market, right? Because they're going to have your, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to know every area as an expert. So a lot of people specialize in a couple markets that they really know, because the laws are different everywhere and the municipalities are different. And depending on where you are, you need a battery or you don't need a battery. You might even know more about this than me if you've been in solar for a little bit, because I'm really more on the recruiting and team building side than on the solar side, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I recruit for the solar industry. So
gotcha.
That's my world. But on the installer side, so I know all the installers.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So this is for everyone, not just you, Mark. I just put my phone number and my email in the chat. Everyone on here, feel free to text me. You can call me also, but text me first with your first and last name so I can save you, so I'm not just sending you to voicemail as like a random number, because I do get called off the chain. But I want to be available to y'all going forward if you have questions, if you need help. And this one's really important as well. If you have somebody that's interested in Reach and you're like, hey, I need someone to talk to them for me, answer questions, feel free to use me as a resource for that. And I definitely am open to helping you. I appreciate you saying that, George. Also, please do be patient with me if I don't get back to you right away, because I do get some days I get 1,000 messages. You know what I mean? And also, I'll say this too: don't ever feel bad about double texting me or following up with me. In fact, I appreciate the people who follow up really well, and I will not be upset at you. I might be upset with myself if I didn't get back to you and you had to double text me, but I'll certainly be glad that I addressed your problem. So don't ever think I'm trying to ignore you. I am open to taking anyone's calls or texts, and I want to help everyone here. So feel free to reach out to me. Seriously, you won't be bothering me. Okay, you won't. So that's my number and my email. If you have questions, if you want to reach out to me after the call, text is probably the fastest way. But yeah, Mark, we can chat. I'll get you connected with John. He'll be able to answer the question better than I will, and then you'll know exactly where you want to go, and then I won't be in your way, because it's like, and it sounds like you'll probably be recruiting everywhere anyway, but you'll have some areas that you want to specialize in, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing. Any other questions from you, Mark, or anyone else have a question?
So I did just turn 18, so I'm pretty young. Is that the limit? Is that the bottom cutoff for like setters and stuff? You have to be 18?
You do have to be 18, absolutely. You got a bunch of friends that are 17. Is that why you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, understood. No real workaround on that legally. Just 17-year-olds just can't enter into contracts, so we can't really work with 17-year-olds, unfortunately. Now, that doesn't mean that you couldn't offer your friends part of your commission, and you know what I mean? Like, if they had referrals for you, like, plenty of people offer their own. Like, I know people that offer gift cards to their friends. Like, hey, if you know anyone that wants to go solar, anyone that goes solar with me, I'll give you a gift card. So if you want to, work a deal with one of your friends because they know some people, You know what I mean? Until they get 18, you can do that, but we can't have them work directly with Reach, regrettably. So,
Okay.
but dude,
No,
congratulations on getting started so young, though. You got a opportunity in front of you. Definitely, if you weren't on for the book of the month, get this book. Okay, I know the authors personally. They're worth like $100 million. I don't know how much money they're worth, but they own 50 rental properties, completely paid for, no debt. They have multiple businesses they own. They're incredibly successful. Some of the most important lessons I've ever learned in my life, they taught me even before the book was written. I couldn't honestly recommend it any more than that. Like you will get $1 million worth of value for the $15 the book costs. So, and that goes for everyone on here, but just as someone I was given a book when I was 16 years old, and it totally changed the trajectory of my life. So I like to pass along to anybody, this type of information can be a game changer for you. So, and dude, welcome, man. Your name's Cameron?
Yeah, Cameron. Spelled weird.
Wait, say it again.
It's just spelled weird. People read
okay.
Carmen a lot. But,
Okay. I had it right though. Perfect. Just shoot me a text, definitely, so that we're in contact. And if I can help you get started, man, let me know.
yeah, I was gonna say my uncle. He's trying to be a closer pretty soon. He's going to refer me here.
Hey, okay. All right. Anyone else have any questions? And no bad questions, guys. You might ask a question that you think, okay, maybe it's obvious, but it will help somebody else. So don't feel bad. I'm not going to make fun of you if you have a funny question. Okay, I promise.
I have a question. When you were talking about, sorry, trying to formulate it here. When you were talking about once you get the bill, submit a text that you set it up with, how do we get their information to text them?
That is an excellent question. And for the most part, you're just going to, we're freezing a little bit. Can you still hear me?
Yep. It's kind of a little bit of a lag.
So most all of the salespeople are very active in the social channels. So if you don't have their number directly, you can reach out to them in the Telegram to get their number.
Okay.
You will get a text message whenever you connect to them, letting them know that they have received the bill. And most of the time they're going to reach out to you very quickly also. So we're training all the sales reps to reach out to the setters immediately. And we're training the setters to reach out to the sales rep immediately because we just want to encourage as much communication as possible. So you shouldn't have a problem, but save my number. And if for whatever reason you need to get someone's number and you can't find it, I'll get you in touch with them.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, sure thing. Great question. Any other questions, y'all? And if you end up popping off and you're like, dang, I should have asked this, you had a question right after, shoot me a text, no stress. All right, does the sizzle video message include the link to the video? Yes, it absolutely does. And here, in fact, I'll pull that up really quick and show you guys what it looks like, because I do think that is a useful thing to see, how they can go from one to the next to then signing up. Just give me 1 second to pull it up on the desktop version. And if someone else has a question, feel free to jump in while I'm pulling this up. This will only take me a second. Okay, so when you send them, and it's formatted for mobile, guys, so it looks better on your phone than it does on a desktop, you know what I mean? But when you send them this is what the sizzle video looks like. It's a 1 minute, 11 seconds, and then below it, it has this button that says learn more. So if they watch the video and they're like, I'm interested, they click learn more. It'll immediately pop up the next page, which has the full recorded business overview. And this is Mike Fedek, one of our co-founders and CEOs of the company, doing the presentation here. And this is 25 minutes long, start to finish. So, and you will still get an update from the app about how far they watched in the video if they do. But then at the bottom here, join Reach. Now this is gonna take me right back to the dashboard because I'm already logged in, okay? So if you go to test that link and you're like, oh, my link's not working, it just takes me back to the dashboard. Trust me, it does work. You can test it by going on an incognito tab and clicking the link, or just by sending it to someone else and opening it on their phone. But it definitely does work. That's a common question I get is, hey, is my link not working? It takes me right back to the dashboard. So if you're already logged in, it's going to take you back to the homepage. But if you're not logged in, if they're just seeing this for the first time, it's going to take them to the sign up, and that sign up is directly connected to you. And when they sign up, you get an email and a text from Reach letting you know that you have a new rep on your team so that you can reach out to them. So great question on that. I did want to show that. I forgot to pull up the tab originally. So this is what that sizzle video will look like. And then it links directly to the full business overview. And then that links them directly to sign up and be connected directly to you. And by the way, guys, if you ever have like this really doesn't come up that often. I'm only mentioning this because it happened today to me. But if for whatever reason, if somebody that you're talking to goes and signs up on the wrong link, okay, and it doesn't get connected to you right away, don't stress out about that. Just reach out to me and I can get them moved over to you, no problem, okay? I had that literally happen with me where I accidentally, because someone was like, hey, can you send me the recorded business overview? I got someone that wants to watch it and I can't get my app to work. So I sent them mine. So you guys can probably guess what happened. They were like, ooh, I'm excited. I want to get started. So they signed up immediately and it went to me. So I'm having to move them back to the person that brought them on board. So if that happens, don't stress. Okay. We will make sure that those people get attributed to you. So don't stress if that happens, but it doesn't happen that often. Okay. Cause you're sending your link to everyone. And by the way, I'll show you one more thing on the homepage here regarding that. Let's say you talk to someone and they're like, oh, I'm looking for a solar opportunity. It's free. I'm ready to get started right now. They don't want to even watch a video. I would still send them the video, okay? But on your dashboard, there is a button that says register team member, and you actually have a QR code and a link that you can send to people that are connected directly to you. Some people think the QR code is super cool because you can obviously put this on somebody. If you're in person, they can just scan it, which is very cool. But you can always just send this link to somebody directly if you want to sign somebody up. You don't have to go through, they don't have to like watch the video first. And then let me show you all one more thing, okay, because I forgot to show you this, I apologize. In your account, there's a button called website profile. You want to set this up. This is one of the first things you want to do is create your own vanity URL. So mine is Nick Odom. So my site is reachsolar.com/Nick Odom. You all have a replicated site like this. You're not going to really use it that often because mostly people are going to watch the video and just sign up directly, but you do have this for yourself. And right now it's just going to be a random string of numbers, but you can actually pick what your URL is. If your name's taken, right, maybe you add your middle initial. Some people even have their first name only or whatever it may be. Obviously you can't use something that's going to be profane or make the company look bad. We'll ask you to change it, but most people, I recommend just make it your first and last name. And then when you first log in to the Reach Out app, okay, there is a section in there called Rep ID. And you're going to want to take this URL, this handle right here, and put it in the Rep ID section in your marketing app. That's what makes it link to your website. Okay. Now you might log in there and it's already in there. It's supposed to automatically connect when you get it set up. This is just really you double checking. And if you change it, then you want to make sure you update it in the Reach Out app. So apologize for not going over that at the beginning, but that's how you can set your own website URL. And then you do need to plug that into the Reach Out app to make sure that it is connected. Okay, I may have generated some more questions with that than I answered. So apologies for the last minute cherry on top of the information, but any other Heather, great question. Rapid Funnel is the company that produces the Reach Out app for us. So for a while, we referred to it as Rapid Funnel because it wasn't white labeled as our app yet. And they're a fantastic company. I've worked with them in the past. We love them. But yes, Rapid Funnel is the same thing as Reach Out. They're the ones that produce that. And okay, I see. And yes, it's the same thing. So great question if you're confused about that. We're going to be moving towards always saying the Reach Out app now that it's been changed in the App Store. But before it showed up as Rapid Funnel, so we were confusing people by not telling them it's Rapid Funnel. And guys, we are a startup company, so there are some things that we're still building as we go. And so please be patient with us. But we have so many incredible things coming for you guys. I can't even tell you about some things. Like, at least make sure that over the next 2 weeks, you go all out because September 1st, we have some announcements that are going to be incredible. Like, just straight up more money. Okay. That's the best I can say. Like, just more money coming. So it's really exciting, the things that we have. but what's coming is even better. So, all right, guys, we are at 10 Eastern. I appreciate all of y'all for staying on so long. Those of you that asked questions, those of you that were on camera, appreciate you guys for making it easier on me. It's always easier to talk to faces than to blank screens. So thank you all so much for being on. Welcome to Reach. We're excited to have you. And if you need anything, like I said, feel free to text me. I'll put my number in the chat one more time, 828-243-3343. Or nick@reachsolar.com. And please do put on your calendar 11 a.m. Eastern back on this exact Zoom tomorrow morning. You definitely don't want to miss it. We're going to be announcing our book of the month for September, and we've got a bunch of other fantastic speakers, some of our corporate team, our CEO. You definitely want to plug into that call if you can. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a fantastic night, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning. Oh, I see. Elizabeth, I was about to close the call out. And you guys hop off, okay? Appreciate you guys staying on so long. But Elizabeth, what test link didn't work for you? I want to make sure I get that working for you. You can unmute and just talk if you want, or you can type in the chat, either way.
So the sizzle video. So and maybe it's just the way it is. So I went into the app, I texted I sent not the invite, but the sizzle video to another phone. And when I open it, it doesn't show a link. So that's where I thought the link would show.
So what does the message that you sent doesn't have a link included in it at all, is what you're saying?
It doesn't. It just says, I have something I want to run by you. I know I recently found the awesome referral program all the way down to, I appreciate you and let me know if you like what you see, but there's no link in that.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, good news. I think that's just the wrong page. So in the app, under share opportunity, and then number 2, create interest, and then it should be called empower your future.
Okay. But you said invite to the sizzle video message, so not that one. That's not the one we sent on the invite. Okay.
Do you mind screenshot? Oh, gotcha. No.
So I was in share opportunity. So under share opportunity, I go to create interest.
Yep. And then empower your future.
Okay. But you do want to send an invitation before that. So you send both. You send at least an invite first.
So you would use the direct approach. I'm going to go ahead and remove that one that's confusing you, because that's if it's not there, then that's with you.
I'm just saying, when inviting somebody to look at this opportunity, what would be the first one you would do?
The direct approach.
Okay, direct approach.
And then if they express any interest at all, then follow up with the sizzle video. Because that direct approach is just asking them, are you open to making extra money? So if they're like, nah, I'm literally too busy to make any extra money, then I guess don't send them the video. But most people will usually say yes to that one, right? And then it's after they watch the video if they're going to say, well, maybe I don't want to do solar, maybe I do. But most people say yes to, I'm looking to make extra money. And then the follow-up to that is under number 2, create interest. And that's when you'll send the empower your future with solar video.
Okay.
And now it should only show the direct and indirect approach now. If it doesn't update right away, it'll update a little bit. I've been meaning to remove the ones that are not as effective anyway, because some people just use them accidentally, even though we tell people which ones work the best. I'm just gonna have the best ones in there from now on. So make that it. Thank you for helping me. Okay. Really, I've had that on my list to do for like 3 days. So now it's done, and I appreciate you putting my feet to the fire on it.
No, thank you. I
Sure
appreciate the
thing.
help.
You found the link now and it worked?
Yes, no, I had seen it, but I just, I wrote it down, the direct approach, then the sizzle video, and I was just expecting to see the,
No, you're right. That other
Okay.
one's literally called Sizzle Video, so I don't blame you for going straight to it. It's, you know, it was bait. So I appreciate you having me correct that, and it should be much easier and simpler now.
okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a fantastic night. Appreciate all of
You
y'all,
too.
and I will see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m.
Okay, thank you.